Do you want boho knotless braids? Join me for this tutorial. So for this doll, you'll need 2 packs of hair, human hair, jam, clip, flexi rods, a comb. So I worked out all the kinks in the back, and so wanted to show you guys the braids from the front. Notice how I only braided it halfway because I want it to be a bob. So the key to making sure that your braids don't look homemade is having crystal clear lines. You need to make sure you are taking the time to divide your lines so that they look crisp and they don't look homemade. So what I'm doing here is I am parting my hair, and I'm also using jam to keep the parts nice, crisp. I would say getting the perfect part takes some time, but it's well worth it. Once you've gotten the parts down, all you have to do next is just divide the hair and get started. So now that I have all of my parts done for this section, I'm going to comb out that little section and start with my first braid. So before I even do my braid, I want to make sure I'm dividing my human hair. Again, for boho knotless braids, you want to make sure that you actually have human hair. Why? Because if you don't have human hair, your hair will tangle and it'll be hard to keep that wet and wavy look that you're going for. So human hair allows you to wash your braids, it allows you to wet it each day so that it looks fresh. So right now I am I'm putting jam on the end so that it's easier to braid. Now I have my 2 pieces. So I would love to do knotless hair, but y'all know I am growing out my hair. Okay, so we are going to start off with knotless. So before we start off with knotless, I'm going to make sure I get really close to make sure that I am grabbing the hair that I sectioned in the part. I'm going to start off with my knot. Now that I've braided it down just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the human pieces of hair that I sectioned off at the beginning. Again, because the human hair has jam at the end, it's going to be easier for me to grip and it's going to be easier for me to add on to this braid. So notice how the blunt end is what gets put into the braid, and the curly end I put up top so that I'm not braiding it into my hair. If you want to make sure that your hair, the human hair length is long, make sure that you're tugging at it so that it does not get braided into the braid. So I'm braiding it down here. Since this is the front, I do want to add more pieces of human hair. So I'm going to braid it down a little bit and then add another piece of human hair. Notice how the blunt end is going towards the bottom, and I'm braiding that directly into the braid, and I'm putting the curly human hair to the side so that I'm not braiding it again. Again, I'm going to tug at it to make sure that I am not pulling the human hair into the braid. Part of the boho knotless style is having that curly hair at the end. All right, I wanted to get fancy, so I added another one, okay? So this is my 3rd piece of hair that I'm adding. Again, I am putting the blunt end towards the bottom so I can braid it. Notice how some of the blunt ends are sticking out at the braid, but don't worry about that. Towards the end, when you are working on your hair and you're putting the final touches, you'll be able to cut those blunt ends. So again, I'm braiding it down to make sure that the human hair is secure and it doesn't fall out. And I'm also pushing the curly hair to the side so that it does not get braided in. So I wanted to show you guys another braid because I noticed I didn't show you how I knotted the braid off at the end. So again, we're going to start the same way. I'm going to start off with a knot. I'll braid down a little bit before I move on to adding a human piece of hair. So that's my first piece. Doing the same thing that I did before, putting the blunt end towards the bottom so that as I braid, it can go into the braid. So I love this boho knotless style. I feel like it is timeless. You can wear it to vacation, you can wear it any day, and it just looks so classy and trendy. I love it. But sometimes we don't always want to spend that $200, $300 price, and we want to be bougie on a budget, right? So if you're someone who's looking to do this style for yourself, this is the perfect tutorial for you. You can still look high maintenance while saving some coin. I'm adding another piece of hair. I bought 1 pack of hair, and so I wanted to make sure that I had most of my curly ends in the front. So notice how in the front I have like 3 strands of human hair, but in the back I only put 1. It's honestly up to you depending on where you want your curls to be, but since I bought 1 pack of hair, I was strategic about where I placed it. So now, like before, I'm braiding it all the way down. I'm making sure to tuck in those blunt ends as I'm braiding. A pro tip as well, if you have nails or if you are about to change your nails, I suggest that you do your nails after you do your hair. It'll be way easier to grip the hair. And sometimes I found that jam or things of that nature can mess up your nails. So I chose to just put on my nails after I finished my hair. All right, now we are getting towards the end. As I get towards the end of my hair, I am going to braid it down. And as I braid, I'm going to pause. All right, so I'm going to pause and I'm going to grab a tiny piece of hair. And with that tiny piece of hair, I'm going to circle it around the braid and do a knot. You want to do this at least 3 times so that your braid is secure and so that your braids don't ravel out. Again, you have human hair that is braided into your braid, so you want to make sure that that human hair is secure. So that's why you're going to braid it. You're going to tie it 3 times. So this is the next day. The next day, I told myself I would curl the hair. So these are the ends. Remember that I braided it halfway because I want a bob. So these are the flexi rods that I'm choosing to use. I had different sizes to see which curl pattern I wanted for my braids. So I'm starting off with the red one. So at the back, I started off by flexi riding 1 braid at a time, but you can do a couple braids at a time. It's honestly up to you. But this first section was where I experimented to see which curl pattern do I want, which curl pattern is going to match. So I put the flexi rods into hot water, and this is how they came out. I love it. But I realized I wanted to be a little bit less tight, so I opted for bigger rods this second time around. So again, I unraveled that other half, and now I'm grabbing a couple of braids to put into my flexi rod. So now, love these curls. So now I'm using the red one. I think that the red and the yellow will better match my human hair curl pattern. And again, when I'm done, I'm going to make sure that I put it in hot water. So I didn't get a chance to record the hot water, but you want to make sure it's hot. And as you're dipping it in there, make sure you have a towel too. You do not want to burn yourself. Okay, we want to look cute, but we don't want to get injured. Okay. So I love this step because I feel like it gives a nice fluffy look. Look at these curls. They're definitely looser than the first time I went. And now I've put all of my braids into flexi rods. Now it's time to take them out. So for the top, I want it a little bit looser. So I chose to use the orange and red flexi rods. It really is just trial and error. At the end of the day, your your curls are gonna look amazing. If you unravel your flexi rods and you notice that it hasn't quite curled, that means that flexi rod wasn't fully submerged in water. So all you have to do is dip it again. So I have taken out all the flexi rods. Now it's time to go back and cut the blunt ends for my braid. Remember how we had the blunt ends from the human hair? So you're gonna cut that to make sure it's not sticking out. Now I have my mousse. So you wanna have mousse to just define the curl. Define the curl for the human hair, but also the curls that were just in the flexi rods. So I used Cantu. You can choose to use whatever foam you like. I just like Cantu because it smelled amazing. Just loved it. Again, this is a lot of hair, so I want to make sure that I'm covering all parts of my hair with mousse. So this is the final look, guys. This is my boho knotless braids, but in a bob. I loved it. I am growing out my hair, so braids are going to be my best friend on this journey. But I love these braids. They're curly. You can dress it up, dress it down, and they look amazing. If you stayed all the way to the end, you know we're besties now, so make sure you are hitting that like button, you are subscribing, and catch you next time.